Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Train Room. Did you know that Lionel wanted to put information and put something in front of parents and kids who were going to buy these trains and build their layouts, the stuff that they needed to be able to build them? And one of the ways they did that was with these track display boards. This is the O gauge board. There's an O27 board. We're going to explore those coming up.
And model railroads have come a long way since the days of the spring winder Dad used to play with when he was a boy. Dad was born too soon.
In the 1950 dealer display catalog, Lionel introduced a selling tool to dealers that encouraged buyers to build layouts. The O27 and O gauge Lionel display boards numbers 21 and 22. These boards are also known as the D-21 and D-22. Most dealers would have purchased both boards to help show the differences and pricing of both gauges of track available in 1950. The O27 track and switches display number 21 was on an attractive painted blue wood board with white lettering and a selection of O27 track items attached to the board. The board contained a 1013 full-size curved track, a 1018 full-size straight track, 26 bumper, a 1021 90-degree crossing, a 6019 operating track, a CTC lock-on, 1121 right-hand remote switch, and a 1024 left-hand manual switch. All this for a net cost to dealer of $12. Now, that's equivalent to approximately $150 in today's money. The O-gauge track and switches display number 22 was also on an attractively painted blue wood board with white printing and O-gauge track assortment attached to the board. The board contained an OC and half OC curved section, an OS and a half OS straight section, UCS operating track, 26 bumper, an O20 90-degree crossing, an O20X, which is a 45-degree crossing, CTC lock-on, an O22 right-hand remote switch, and an O42 left-hand manual switch. Again, all this for a net cost to dealer of $18, equivalent to approximately $230 in today's money. Both boards measured 24 inches by 30 inches and had stock numbers and prices shown beneath each item. You will sometimes find these boards with the 1952 OPS stickers attached to the board. These would have been put on by the dealers to reflect the pricing updates and mandate in 1952. This pair of display boards would have been easily used multiple years by dealers due to their attractive look and sturdy build. Let's take a closer look at the dealer display catalog and one of the boards. So in the 1950 Lionel Displays catalog, which there's another episode on where you can see the whole catalog. On the pages, as you scroll through, it shows everything that Lionel offered for 1950. And one of those offerings is the D-21 and the D-22. So let's take a little close-up of both of the boards. This is the D-21, which is the O27 gauge track board. So it says right out where your customers can see them, the essential O27 track accessories on a handsomely finished wood panel. It gives a little bit of a breakdown of everything you get: straight track, curved track, crossing, CTC light on, all that jazz, all in here again for a net cost to dealers for $12. okay, which is really great. And then the O gauge board, which is the D or display number 22, all right, has again everything you need. And it says it's shown where your customers can see them. Handsomely enameled wooden panel on which accessories are rigidly mounted. Okay, and it shows everything that you get. And again, the O gauge board had a lot more stuff on it too. So you got your curved tracks, half curved tracks, your bumper, everything you need. All this is great, again, for a net cost of $18, which is great. Again, these boards are beautifully finished, and stock numbers and prices are shown beneath each item, which is really great. So all you had to do is put that up. It had the cost of everything there. Everything looks great. These are fantastic boards. Okay, so we're going to take a little closer look at one of these Lionel O-gauge track display boards right here too. So the first thing we're going to do is let's take a little peek and see how big this thing is, okay? It does measure 24 inches by 30 inches. Okay, it's about a quarter-inch thick plywood is what the base is made out of. It's painted blue with some white sort of stamping all the way around. All right, and what do you get on this? Well, first of all, it says Lionel up here, and then O gauge track, and there's an O27 gauge track that basically set up the same way. A couple things that you're going to get. So the first is you've got the OC, which is basically just a curved section here. They go for 30 cents. You have a half of a curve, an O-gauge curve, and those go for also 30 cents. A CTC lock-on for 15 cents. You've got a UCS, which is $3, which is one of the power tracks. And again, everything's all ready to go here. You've got a number 26 bumper, okay, with the silver top here. A little bumper for $1.75. And then you have your O-gauge straight tracks here. You got a full straight for 30 cents. You have a 1/2 OS for 30 cents here. You got to have a couple different crossings, and you have an O20X, which is the sort of elongated 45-degree crossing for $2.75. And then you've got an O20, which is just the 90-degree crossing in O-gauge for $2.50. And then you've got switches. And you have two styles. You have the manual switches here. This is the O42s for $9.50. Or if you would want to use them by remote, using these little remotes and wiring them to your switches, you can do the O22 switches for $18.75 for a pair. These are absolutely cool boards, the O27 and then the O-gauge board, and this is what helped dealers sell all the extra track that people needed when they bought a train set.
The O27 gauge display board number 21 and the O-gauge display board number 22 would have been a valuable tool to Lionel dealers in the early 50s to help guide buyers in purchasing the right track for their layout needs.
Hey guys, that's my video. Appreciate you listening and watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's been 1 year since I started this channel, and I have had so much fun sharing some of the rare, unusual, and oddball trains with you. And again, I hope you like them too. I love hearing the feedback from you. And hey, if you like some, give me a little checkbox. I always appreciate that. And by the way, tell your friends. If you've got a post-war Lionel collector that you know hasn't seen Brian's Train Room yet, it's time you kind of introduce them to me. Got some great stuff to show them, and guess what? There is way more coming your way. Now, I don't do these videos by myself. I have a number of friends and fellow collectors that have shared pieces, information, and all the things that I need to be able to try and put this thing together for you, and I thank them at the very end because I cannot do this without their help. So, hey, keep watching. Got some great stuff coming your way, and again, as always, thanks for joining me on Brian's Train Room.
Lionel Express, all aboard. Look at her streak along the rails. It's a Lionel.